In the new Rugby Football League time of year on to boot off, the kind of sport's largest exotics clubhouse is prepared to get to the skiing once again for a campaigning of Transport Atlantic fight. Canada clubhouse Toronto Wolf Pack created a interfere while they united the tertiary level of the British Rugby Football League framework recent year, as it intended circle trips of about 7,000 miles for off games. The clubhouse and its major sponsorship, Canada airline company Air Transat, pay, and will do so once again the time of year, for their Europe opponents 8-hour air transportation to and of Canada for off games versus the Wolf Pack. Following fleeing off in the name recent year, the Wolf Pack will act in the other tier league the time of year, competitive versus a army of strong British clubs, advantage to lose in France. The clubhouse admits it done a finance losing recent year, but insists how was anticipated as portion of a much longer-term industry schedule intended to achieve the wealth of the top level of Rugby Football League. It is a 5-year schedule to get to the excellent league, the Wolf Pack's General Business Officer Scott Lidbury, an Australia who grew up observer Rugby Football League, tells me. We are in year 2 of house schedule, we are in the league and things are on the law path. Promote the year is apparently the purpose. We would be frustrated if we did not complete in the top 4 persons. Upcoming amongst the top quartet would offer them an opportunity at promote via the qualifiers excellent 8s playoffs. Mr. Lidbury adds, it would not be the end of the planet if we did not go up, but we sense sure, especially in the players we include signed. He says if they were not assigned the industry can suffer its different outgoings of journey and arena rental to gamer salaries and print operative. But promote to the excellent league would give an enormous finance increase in regulation of TV rights cash of heaven, and more than and greater sponsored deals. Recent time of year's budgeting was Canada dollar, pound 2 meter, and is set to be more than the year as the clubhouse has excited out 7 players of recent time of year, but driven in 10 more than. The Wolf Pack's major finance patron is Australia mountain magnate David Argyle, who grew up game rugby football. David is 100% in it for the length period, says Mr. Lidbury. He has a really powerful site. He is a big motorist of Toronto as a provincial centre of rugby football superiority, for both of codes. The Wolf Pack act their games in blocks of off matches accompanied by household ones in the year, to cut downward on crisscrossing the Atlantic and as well since the severe Canada winter extends in the begin of the time of year. The year they will act 11 off games, later 2 at household, later 2 on inert British perspectives, later 8 at household. Head execution and clubhouse founding member Eric Perez provided the use of 10,000 local Lamport Arena in Toronto, and recent year ordinary household gates were a wholesome 7,000, although part of such visiting had congratulatory tickets. The crew wants greater gates the time of year, and to increase its 650 time of year ticket holders by at low 50%. A UK-based industry growth officer has as well been equipped to give in UK business deals, and to transactions in things love new Toronto gamer registrations and receiving pertinent visas for newcomer players. In supplement, the clubhouse has now done the Platt Alley Sport facility in Fallowfield, southward Manchester, its complete time UK basis. Every off-crew can journey complimentary via Air Transat while they act in Toronto, creature capable to get a complete team, coaches and auxiliary personnel, at which has been pledged by Rugby Football League authorities as no price. Yet, recent time of year Mound Raiders, that play in Canada 2 times, found down there was a finance cost to pay in. It had to pay for things love trainer journey to and of the aeroport, additional luggage, visas for several players at £80 every, and meal and sip for 25 players and personnel. It priced the clubhouse about £4,000 for the routine League One device in Canada. While the teams play once again in the excellent 8 playoffs in Toronto, fans set up a financing web page and grown almost £3,000 to lid the clubhouse's cost. And time 30 fans done the travel for the at first play, no went for the other. The clubs will act household and off once again in the league the time of year. Main sponsorship Air Transat, signed on a 3-year transactions, provides 540 airline company seats a year, that sees the clubhouse fly in 35 human beings while it visits Europe, and opposition clubs proposed 25 complimentary overseas back air transportation. Air Transat owns Canada Case Journey website, that giving off crew fans weekend packages in Toronto, consisting in and matchstick card. They are a main affiliate for us and act a key part in our operative, says Mr. Lidbury. They are the ultimate sample of a mark who can gain of associate in ourselves. Love one of our some main partners, Maple Sheet Diamonds. They are a Canada mark looking to be much stronger in the UK. Versa, the clubhouse's UK sponsors such as Manchester Metropolitan College get scope in Canada. They knocked together us out of the Problem Cup in London recent year, and their trip created a hum. They are a daring organization, and nice good luck to them, they carry their hearts on their sleeves. They as well include wholesome crowds at their household games. They will be looking to construct fan supporting not just in Toronto, but amongst Canadians in the UK. I win TB departure to Canada for our off-league play, but a pair of half a dozen fans will go to Toronto in the Wolf Pack possessing a main basis in Manchester. They are purchase British-based players who might include loss to some clubs there, and how has inflicted discussion amongst Rugby Football League fans. The Wolf Pack has an extraordinary TV location whereby it films its own household matches and gives the length complimentary to CBC on the internet and Cord Canal Play TV. Though they miss cash on the transactions, they sense it is urgent in generative broad knowledge. Ours purpose is to increase our achieve, and evolve our income streams, and speak is thing we are work on all the period, evolving Wolfpack TV platforms, says Mr. Lidbury. We expect how in year 3 we would be capable to begin drive several TV rights rental income. We trust we include a really vivid sport and industry next.